Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is Arun from SEAMEO TED. Thank you very much for your participation in this international webinar on the SEAM TVET development strategy post-pandemic. I would like to announce the official program will start shortly, so please pay attention and kindly control your mics properly. Thank you.
Hi, Ma'am. Ma'am, may mga pwede sa among student. Sa hindi niya pa man din ako. Si
Ladies and gentlemen, so it is a good opportunity that we come together in this international webinar. Thank you very much. Our program will start shortly. So before starting the program, you can share or you can say something personally. Welcome, greeting everyone. As a friend, feel free.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning po.
Vâng, dương sách đến
Okay, good morning.
Buana,
Yes, good morning.
I the one asking Pak Budi to connect you.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Papa, thank you very much. I tried to do best.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, thank you very much.
my office near to your campus also.
Oh, yeah? In where, Pa?
In Lembang.
Oh, Lembang. Yes, I know. It's very close.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak.
Salam kenal.
Ya, Pak, insya Allah. Terima kasih, Pak.
Yeah.
Good morning, Pak Buti.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
We are fasting.
Oh, I see. Ramadan.
Yes.
Today I be fasting too.
Oh, good. Hi, Sharon. Good
Hello,
morning.
Anna, Dr. Anna.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for.
Oh, I see. Ramadan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Anna, for joining us today as speaker.
Yes.
Oh, good. Hi,
Thank-
Sharon.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Thank you for.
Oh, I see. Ramadan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Anna, for joining us today as speaker.
Yes. Oh, good. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Yes. Thank you for.
Oh, I see. Ramadan. Thank you, Dr. Anna, for joining us today as speaker.
Yes. Oh, good.
Everyone calling Sarun as a star film. Huh?
Hello, SEAMEO TED.
Morning. Good morning.
Dr. Itel, I know you are super busy at this moment. SEAMEO
Are. We have also another activity in another
Yeah.
setting.
So it's very good opportunity and honor that you can join us today. It's very much thankful.
Congratulations, SEAMEO TED.
Hello, Echo from Good Study.
Hello.
Hello, I know you have.
You look very fresh today.
Ah,
No, because yeah, everywhere in ASEAN is summer, but now in China it's just like spring. So I'm wearing coat.
Oh, I see. There's no COVID-19 in China now. It's strongly spreading in Cambodia.
Yeah, it will get better now as we have been doing in China. Yeah, there are now very few cases in China. So in general, our life order get back to normal already. Yeah. In most places.
So I hope China will donate more vaccine to Southeast Asian countries.
Yeah, I think Chinese government is delivering a lot of vaccination now. Yeah, I'm not getting vaccinated yet because too many order. Yeah, I cannot make the order now. Yeah, too many people
Okay.
are asking for the vaccine.
We're spreading.
Hello, everyone from Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines,
Philippines.
India, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos. I know there's participants from India and Uzbekistan also. That's good opportunity that we can see all of you here. Hello, our friend from Singapore, Mr. Swesun. Maybe Mr. Swesun is not yet joining us, I think. Hello, our speaker from China, President Lee. Maybe I could not find President Lee in this Zoom. Mr. Colin.
It's GTVTC. So the school abbreviation GTVTC, you see? So they have a very nice Chinese picture as a background. Yeah, Chinese painting. A huge.
Oh, I see. Oh, very nice virtual background.
Hello,
Hello,
hello
President Lee.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Mr. Pan from Anhui City, Nanning College for Vocational Technology, China.
You can say that again because he was just.
And hello, our friend from the Philippines who will be our speaker today, Miss Ma Victoria, and his colleague, Mr. May I call him Luis Duterte or just Duterte or just Luis? So ladies and gentlemen, again, I would like to announce our short program will start shortly. Now we almost running the time at 9. We will start the opening ceremony. So it's opportunity that I note 133 participants has a lot. And I note from the registration, we have more than, I think almost 300. 285 registered yesterday, I note. So I think we will still waiting for some more participants to join us in this webinar. Maybe they are still locking.
Good morning, Mr. Sharon.
Good morning, Alam.
From Indonesia. Fine, thank you. From Indonesia.
Yeah. Are you in school or in where?
I'm in my school.
Oh, you still can go to school even in the pandemic?
Yes, in my school.
That's great. Thank you for your previous presentation, sharing your practice from your school.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah. Good morning, His Excellency Thongsamon from Cambodia as a speaker in this webinar. Welcome you to the webinar and thank you very much for your honor to be here. Good morning, our speaker from Singapore, Ms. Obi Gees and Mr. Steven. Are you joining with us? I could not find you. And Mr. Steven. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce the official program start. So thank you very much for your participation today. So I would like to give the floor to Dr. Ai Song Hieng, the moderator of today's webinar, to lead the session. Dr. Ai Song Hieng, please.
Okay, welcome to the international webinar today. Our session starts from 9 to 12 o'clock. Let's get started now. Good morning, His Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, teacher and student. I am Song Hieng Ai, Director of SEAMEO TED, Cambodia. I am delighted to be with you for today's session as a moderator. The objective of today's webinar are to share TVET development strategy post-pandemic, to learn and benchmark the strategy from each other, and to enhance regional cooperation. We are honored to have three distinguished persons for welcoming, opening, and closing remarks. namely M.S. King Ziyang, Director of International Relations, Go Study, Global Education, China, Dr. Etel Anes Pascua Valenzuela, Director of SEAMEO Secretariat, and His Excellency Dr. D. Camboli, SEAMEO High Official for Cambodia. Before we start, please listen SEAMEO song and SEAMEO color together, please.
It's time to open our eyes to a bright and promising future. We'll rise to the call of the times and create a stronger tomorrow. Let's start to make a difference, teaching everyone to learn through science, health and technology. We will share our expertise by promoting knowledge and policies. We can build a better world. Let us take a stand for our visions of hope, bringing future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dream. Here at SEAMEO, building the future is our legacy. We'll achieve our goals through partnership, creating opportunities. By working hand in hand, we can accomplish all our dreams. For a better quality of life is now within our reach. Let us take a stand for our visions of hope, bringing future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dream. Here at SEAMEO, building the future
Thank you so much for your listening. Now, let me share with you the progress of report of our SEA Vocational Technical High School Network. Since the establishment of our network in October 2020, we have 10 SEAMEO country members, including Brunei Darussalam, Indonesia, Myanmar, Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Singapore, and Timor-Leste, covering 71 vocational technical high school college, including 6,104 teachers, 102,116 students in our region. Yes, can you please? So far, we have done 12 international training programs, starting from ICT capacity building, logistic knowledge, international ICT training workshop, international trade settlement, automobile training, civil engineering, computer program development, comparison of CSR and sustainability, reporting implementation, reactive digital marketing, business correspondent, introduction to ISO 9001, 2015, and application. Finally, Bahasa Indonesia, covering 830 participants from our region and from outside our region. Among them, we tackle some participants from our region, from the country and from other country out of our region as well. In addition to the international training program, we have done 4 international webinars. The first one, the webinar on NDI integration into OBS and live streaming, energizing TVET community. The second one on youth empowerment amid the pandemic and favorite school for students. And the third one on mechatronic system, incorporating green environment and food processing technology. The last one is today international webinar on TVET development strategy post-pandemic, covering 676 participants in our region. And as you see, the peer chart of participants from each country. Please, can you use? And our agenda, next agenda, we have 2 important persons to open and to welcome our audience for today's webinar. The first one, let's welcome MS Kim Ziyang, SEAMEO TED strategic partner. Please welcome her. Thank you for that. Please, the floor is yours. Kim Ziyang.
Thank you, Dr. Song Heng-ai. Dear Dr. Iso, so I'm going to give the open remark. Dear Dr. Iso, Dr. Heng-ai, Mr. Pan from China, Indonesia, His Excellency, dear lecturers from Philippines and Singapore, and dear listeners, good morning. Welcome to the international webinar on the theme of TVET development strategies post-pandemic. It's an honor to meet with you all here in the cloud. My name is Qin Ziyan. You can also call me Echo. I'm the International Director of Go Study Global Education. We're the co-host of today's webinar, and we're also the strategic partner of SEAMEO TED in China. TVET is a topic receiving intensive attention in the region. In China, we have a new expression for TVET practitioners, that is craftsmen for nation. TVET practitioners do not only support the development of a single country, but they are also supporting our region as a whole. We strongly believe that under the efforts of Dr. Song Hen Ai and all staffs from SEAMEO TED, SEAMEO TED is becoming a leading force in the region in facilitating TVET development. And as a strategic partner of SEAMEO TED, our team of GoStudy is committed to enhancing the TVET international collaboration between China and ASEAN. Since last year, we have co-organized many online practical trainings for SEA Technical Vocational High School Network, and we are preparing for several educational international alliances to provide the platforms where young scholars and students can communicate. At the same time, we're also preparing for China-ASEAN Power Energy Student Skill Competition to be held in November, both online and offline. Of course, today's webinar is also one of the important activities we have been doing with SEAMEO TED, and I believe here today we can communicate and share many practical practices together and to cope with the new normal together. I hope today's webinar is a great success. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm asking the young for your welcoming remark. Your welcoming remark showing the inspiration message for us. The next agenda, please welcome Dr. Adele Anes Pascual Valenzuela, Director of SEAMEO TED. Director of Secretariat, SEAMEO Secretariat. Please welcome her. The floor is yours, Doctor. Please.
To the Director of SEAMEO TED, Dr. Ai Song Hyun, our High Official, Dr. D. Kamboli, representing the Kingdom of Cambodia, our SEAMEO officials from all over Southeast Asia, distinguished speakers, participants from Southeast Asia, good morning and welcome to SEAMEO TED's International Webinar on Development Strategies. Please allow me to share my PowerPoint to tell you where we are in terms of technical education and development. We have already adopted our 7 education priority areas. And as you can see, since 2015, we have worked closely with different organizations to promote the education agenda. And in one of those agenda actually is the technical education and development, which is actually priority number 4, promoting TVET in Southeast Asia. So let me say that we have linked closely our new SEAMEO strategic plan with the Sustainable Development Goal. Of course, it is a requirement that we actually support Sustainable Development Goal. And I would like to have a short presentation on where we are right now. So first, next slide, I would like to show where we are in terms of the pandemic. And at the height of the pandemic, we know already that over 1 billion of our learners were affected since last year, since we got COVID in March 2020, at least here from Bangkok. And the whole of the world got all this situation affecting learners, and 33% of them are still affected as of the moment, and still 31 countries all over the world are in lockdown. We in Southeast Asia are still very much in different types of lockdown. And well, but anyway, there is a good news. We have seen that the progress of our scientists, that they were able to develop the first COVID vaccine by Pfizer and biotech. And since then on, many countries and institutions have followed that development phase of vaccine. And Cambodia, I'm very glad to say, has led the vaccination of education personnel first. And it's actually a best practice for SEAMEO. And congratulations to Cambodia for prioritizing teachers and education personnel in this campaign against the COVID-19 pandemic. And while we are still in this health crisis, and we should not forget that we also have our education crisis, and it affects our GDP. So many of countries, even when we have vaccine already, our GDP, our human capital will actually be affected by this pandemic. And it is not just a year, but it will be a long way. And in fact, I feel today that we are sort of already having this new normal as like a normal phenomena, that we have to come to office with mask and do isolation and limit all our social events. Anyway, during the advent of the pandemic, we have asked the ministers of education of Southeast Asia to respond right away to the challenges brought by the pandemic. So we should, in order for us to frame the new things, the new strategies for TVET, we have to understand where we are, especially the member countries. So from Brunei, it is actually supporting all digital learning, all, not just Ministry of Education, but everyone take part in rebuilding and building back better for Brunei Darussalam. And we have our center, the oldest center for TVET in Brunei Darussalam, which is SEAMEO TED. And they're also helping in capacity building for TVET institutions. Cambodia is a leader also in developing the Center for Digital Education and harmonizing digital platforms. And of course, Indonesia used distance learning, online, offline, and blended even in their TVET, which is actually very challenging for many TVET institutions, right? And then Lao PDR have also utilized ICT and alternative learning modalities, and Malaysia use digital learning platforms and holistic flexible learning strategy. And of course, they have also very good TVET institutions who are assisting in this type of crisis that we are having. Myanmar, right now they're having their political crisis, but they are offering online and alternative platforms for education, trying to reach the marginalized learners. Philippines amended a bit the curriculum, having the basic education learning continuity plan and reviewing the competencies that should be imbibed by the learners in this type of pandemic, in this isolation and lockdown. Singapore combined both home-based learning and also flexible learning, and they're back to school actually, and it's also a good model for us to look at. And Thailand education ecosystem model is back also to school opening, and they have also introduced several digital platforms to support learners and even utilizing television and radio broadcasts. Same with Timor-Leste, but they have added the use of mobile application. So if you intend to help them in TVET, they should be SMS friendly. And for Vietnam, open educational resources, video materials, education and TV broadcast. They are very useful. So in order for you to do the development strategies, we have to keep in mind where the countries are. And as the ministries of education try to respond faster, we need to think now for, TED on skills development, on technical education development for the region. So remember the recommendations of the ministers when you do development strategies. First is to prioritize teachers. They should be given capacity building, and also the key education enablers. So that includes school heads. Are we training school heads also? Are we reaching out to those who are actually teaching? And second is, be able to identify all the resources that will help you promote education even in this crisis situation. Fostering a learning environment that is free from disruption. Even if there's disruption, you can still carry on with teaching like this one, like this webinar, by TED. And of course, it's very important to develop partnership with right institutions to be able to help out. So we have 26 SEAMEO centers, SEAMEO Secretariat in Bangkok, and ministries of education who can actually help you in developing all your strategies for the next decade. And that this was the joint statement of the ministers. And after that, we also have discussed how to build back better. It's very important for our region to build back better, because actually the teachers should be really supported for their online teaching. Not all of them are trained on educational technology. And also another important consideration is they're not well equipped on online assessment. So how do we assess TVET in this situation? There are COVID-19 guidelines prepared by different countries, and we should also consider how to do remediation, because there are lots of learning losses and learning gaps that happen, especially for TVET when they cannot do their actual or technical activities. And of course, consider also supporting the disadvantaged learners and the marginalized learners in our region, those who cannot have access to mobile data, those who cannot actually attend classes, those with disabilities, and the girls and women who sometimes are a bit disadvantaged. And if ever, there should be a recovery fund to start with a budget to support all of these initiatives. So I think that's a very good discussion, and also, recommendations from our high officials. But next, I think for TED, you should also start looking at the positive side, the silver linings, which includes, maximizing opportunities for digitalization, for blended forms of learning, online and home-based learning combined or hybrid, and then also, strengthening the students, like what you have been showing this morning, a very nice collaboration of students singing a beautiful song. I think they're Cambodians. And this is one, we can promote TVET through music, through arts, and the things that they can enjoy while learning. And also, let's look at the values and of the parents who are helping in this pandemic or guiding the children in this pandemic. So, by the way, we have TVET resources. So for those of you who are interested to see all the TVET resources, you can take a look at ctvet.net. So if you are interested to look at TVET resources in all member countries, they are there. They have their competency standards. They also have all the information that you may need for your teaching and for policy making. So the ctvet.net is there. But let us not forget that we need to think whenever we have strategies for development, because we are intergovernmental. We will not just function for our own country, we have to function for everyone. So equality and access is very important. And also we have to look at where we can influence, where we can help, and also tap the teachers, develop their passion for teaching, because at this time, they are our heroes. They've been helping us promote education even in this time of pandemic. So let us not forget all these three considerations as we move forward developing TVET in our region. So I think while SEAMEO has done a lot, SEAMEO with the centers, they have done a lot, we need not stop. So learning should not stop, and that we should always consider teachers. So a pleasant day to everyone, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ethel, for your productive and insightful message for us, highlighting 7 SEAMEO priority, vaccine, COVID-19 situation globally, and digital education for our region. For example, in Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, being flexible to digital education, Timor-Leste, applying mobile application to achieve the challenges of the pandemic, and Vietnam open education resources for distance learning. And for your recommendation for SEAMEO TED, that we should start the positive side of investing or focusing on digitalization in education, and focus on teacher capacity development program, because we need to build their strength, their potential in order to ensure the quality of education during this pandemic. Thank you so much, Dr. Eder, for your insightful and productive presentation for us. It's really fruitful for us. Thank you. The next agenda, we come to the group photo session. Group photo session now. So please turn on all your camera and start the photo together. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's start. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your participation. Now we come to the next agenda of our today's webinar. I would like to inform the speaker that each speaker have 20-minute presentation or talk, and another 10 minutes for Q&A at the end of the session. If the audience have any question or comment, please raise your hand or put them in the chat box. The question or comment should be directed to the particular presenter's name for readiness. I will select questions and bring them to the relevant presenters. We have 2 separate sessions today. Session 1 is on TVET development strategy post-pandemic. As you know, TVET means technical and vocational education and training. It's education and training which provide knowledge and skill for immediate employment, meaning that school-to-work approach to learner. TVET services can be delivered formally, non-formally, and informally to our learner. As technical and vocational education and training has globally been recognized as the most effective tool for increasing employment and provide quality education for school-to-work approach. However, COVID-19 disrupts everything globally, and education and training service have been done remotely. To prove this, let's hear our first speaker voice, Mr. Li Wenjong from China. Mr. Li has professional experience in leading and hosting more than 10 urban transport planning projects. He received prize for the achievement in science and technology for several times and owned 21 patents for intervention and 4 software copyrights. His research interests are intelligent transportation system and urban traffic planning and management. He will talk about the road to vocational education revitalization in post-pandemic. The floor is yours, sir. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Good morning. I'm Li Wenyong, the president of Guangxi Transport Vocational and Technical College in China. I'm very glad to be invited by SEAMEO TED to share with you some of the practices in our college and some thoughts about the development of TVET as well as international cooperation. First, please allow me to give a brief introduction on Guangxi Transport Vocational and Technical College. The college was founded in 1958. It is located in Nanning, the important connection city of China-ASEAN cooperation. The college is the only higher institution specializing in transportation in Guangxi. It has 3 campuses with more than 18,000 students and 773 faculties and staffs now. We have cooperated with 32 institutes from Taiwan and 17 countries, including Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, Germany, the UK, and so on. Now, we are carrying out programs like TVET services, joint education program, and international student cultivation. Second, I'd like to introduce the practices in 2 aspects. First, online education to support the daily teaching. The pandemic of COVID-19 has turned online education into a necessity. Vocational colleges also take an active role in developing online education. So we have to make some adjustment to ensure the teaching quality and the study effect. After discussing, practicing, and modifying over and over again, we have formed a mixed teaching method, that is, online in the first phase and offline in the second phase. In detail, the first practice is to make full use of existing resource to produce well-designed online course. Before class, teachers gave preview tasks to motivate the students' initiatives. During the class, teachers used cloud platforms to enhance knowledge and do question and answers. The second practice is to enforce study effects through offline practices. We adopt group work practice method. Teachers divided students into many groups and made sure that online students worked with offline ones in a group to finish training tasks together. The second part is about our international cooperation, restricted by the pandemic. Till now, newly diagnosed cases of COVID-19 are still increasing. International travel is infeasible. It is incredibly difficult to promote international projects and overseas study programs, not to mention the enrollment of foreign students. To confront the difficulties, we adjusted our goals and strategies accordingly and spared no effort to reduce the adverse effects brought by the pandemic. I'd like to share the practices of international cooperation of our college. Our first practice is that we build overseas training base and train the students together with ASEAN partners. We have constructed Belt and Road Transport Infrastructure TVET training base in Indonesia. With this major achievement, we have been authorized by China Highway Construction Association to confer on ASEAN qualified trainees 2 qualification certificates of China Ministry of Transport, which are the certificates of construction worker and the budget clerk. We are the first one and still the only one in China that has got this authorization. Moreover, we work together with Shanghai Jiaotong University to publish the 5 relevant Chinese-English bilingual textbooks. In this way, we could share with ASEAN countries over our experiences in transport technologies and TVET teaching experiences. In order to research on improve international student cultivation, we overcame many difficulties and established Sino-Thailand TVET Center with Thailand Royal Technical University. What's more, we have reached consensus with STI Myanmar University through online meeting to co-establish the branch of Guangxi Transport College in Myanmar. The second practice is that we implemented vocational training for Belt and Road students by all manners. Under the background of constructing China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, we have discussed with Pakistan Education Counselor in China on joint education program of urban metro major. Besides, we initiated online TVET training for trainees from ASEAN, combining live lecture with video of lessons. The training courses consist of logistics, automobile, road and bridge, as well as maritime navigation. All of them are transportation-related majors. Through this webinar, we hope to communicate and share experiences with other practitioners from ASEAN. We would like to continue the mutually beneficial cooperation with SEAMEO TED, and we hope to establish China ASEAN Transportation Training Base in our college, enhancing the development of international transportation TVET. So the pandemic has brought to TVET not only challenges, but also chances. We found new ways to reform the pattern of international cooperation when face-to-face communication was constrained. In the coming post-pandemic era, the international cooperation between China and ASEAN will start a new journey. We will struggle to drive the vehicle of the TVET in a promising direction to overcome the obstacle of the pandemic and to convert it into the touchstone for the quality of TVET. That's all for my speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Lee, for your fruitful and cooperative presentation for us, highlighting the practice of teaching in the pandemic situation, the use of cloud platform, even though online and offline activity as a practice method, flexible for international cooperation between our Asian country, build overseas training base and training program with Asian partners, establishment of some cooperation project like Thailand, TVET University, online meeting with STI Myanmar University, new way to inform pattern of international cooperation in our region. It is your commitment. So we would like to thank for your presentation, really helpful and cooperative for our country. Thank you so much. And in order to intensify the topic and To learn more, let's fly to Indonesia. We hear the voice from our second speaker, Dr. Adna MPD from Indonesia. Dr. Adna earned master degree and doctor degree in technology and vocational education from Yogyakarta State University. She has been selected the best lecturer in UPI in 2013 and best researcher. Her research interests cover educational technology and vocational education. She has published 2 books and 5 intellectual property rights and 51 article Scopus Index research and 19 other article indexes ISI, Thomson and Bosch. She will talk about reimagining learning on TVET in the higher education post-pandemic. The floor is yours, Doctor, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Song. Can I share my slide?
Yeah, please.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, everyone. The honorable keynote speakers, all of the committee of international webinar and all audience from abroad. And thank you for my friend Sharon and Pak Fufti. And thank you to SEAMEO TED invite me for this webinar. Thank you for having me here. Such a great honor for me to have this opportunity. First of all, say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Salawat and salam are always delivered for our great Prophet Muhammad SAW. Today, I would like to share a topic about the post-pandemic TVET development strategy entitled is Reimagining Learning on TVET in the Higher Education Post-Pandemic. Let me introduce briefly about Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia or UPI. This is our campus. UPI is one of the university in Indonesia which is engaged in education. The UPI campus has a motto, leading an outstanding university. One of the existing faculty we have is Faculty Technology and Vocational Education, FPTK. FPTK is one of the oldest faculties in field vocational education. Since 2019, FPTK is developing a Center of Excellence or COE for technical education and vocational teachers in Indonesia. FPTK also developing a vocational education research and development. We have a TVET Research Center, and which will become a center for reference and analysis of vocational education policies, vocational education models, and the curriculum development, as well as research and dissemination in field of vocational education. COE is developed through ADB, Asian Development Bank, which runs until 2024. Until now, FPTK is still continuing developing international partnerships that have been initiated, such as RAFTE, IVETA, SEAMEO TED, and then UNESCO UNEVOC, UNESCO Bangkok, and CURIVET in Korea, MyRivet in Malaysia, and others. For more information, please, you are inviting to visit our website, faculty website at fptk.upi.edu. If the pandemic passes, please come to Bandung. You know, Bandung is a culinary and fashion center in Indonesia. Okay, we are going to main topic. As we are going to the main topic, there are 5 parts that I will present. Our introduction, COVID-19 lesson learned, learning at the post-pandemic, and strategy that Indonesia TVET implementing the post-pandemic, and conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know, learning becomes an initiative to reimagine how knowledge and learning can shape the futures of humanity in spite of the increasingly rapid change, uncertainty, and complexities that occur as a result of Industry 4.0. In just year, COVID-19 pandemic is occurring globally. Dramatic changes occur suddenly and have never happened to anyone. This condition gives the impression that things that are impossible in the future are now right in front of our eyes. COVID-19 has created many new trends. The pandemic has become concern as well as a challenge for all of us because it is changing various fields, one of which is education. What is the lesson are we take from current pandemic condition? There are at least four lesson from the current pandemic condition. The first is we befriended technology and there's no going back. Digital technology is not something new, but so have not used it, but so far we have not used it optimally. The existence in COVID-19 forces us to adapt and learn about various technologies. We believe that technology is necessary for everyone. The COVID-19 pandemic has succeeded in accelerating forced online education, which was previously considered strange and difficult to implement. The second is work is anywhere now. The new habit working from home to teaches from home and student to be more productive, just like we do in the office, right? Work is not only limited into physical condition trains us to be more independent for our responsibility. The third is you can hope stability, but best be prepared for the opposite. We will be more adaptive, creative, and innovative. Especially, we can create new opportunities, all aspects, including entrepreneurship, right? And the fourth is a crowd will return, but we will gather carefully. The community system has changed permanently. Health monitoring will become increasing stringent by reducing unproductive activities, even almost eliminating outdoor activities. This is challenge that we need to in today's era, especially in vocational education, which requires mastery of skills. However, the learn process must be conducted. Educational institution service must run. Okay, what about Indonesia? Several policies have been issued by the government. There are also efforts from the private sectors that have contributed to organizing a learning Indonesia during the pandemic. The government issues a letter, the Minister of Education, Cultural Utilization of Learning at Home, and the private sectors provide online tutorial service. And the Minister of Education and Culture initiated the Learning Home program by broadcasting the program on TVRI. TVRI is Television of Republic of Indonesia. And the Minister of Education and Culture provides the free quota that can be used access more than 60 platform e-learning and official website from Indonesia universities, and also each university also provides platform that support an implementation of distant learnings. The learning model in all higher education for all theoretical courses are conducted uh, online, and practical course should be done online wherever possible. If student have should be attend to school class in the laboratory, workshop, and library or studio, it's possible uh, to come to campus, but lecturers and students have to allow the health protocol and policy issues. The recommendation to stay at home is physical distance is are followed by emergence of policies that must be adaptive, requiring a change in learning pattern from face-to-face to online. On July 2020, Minister of Education and Culture announced that for the areas marked in green areas, is we call a green zone. Low is a low potential for spread coronavirus. Is face-to-face is class is lowest by following the health protocol. And the learning time is reduced, and the maximum number of students in class is about 18. The policy will be affect the methods used by teacher in their teaching and learning activities. Learning cannot be fully conducting face-to-face, so the teacher can prefer collaboration learning between online learning and face-to-face learning, and it's called a blended learning. And then how is the learning carried out in the COVID-19 era? Higher education institutions have high potential for COVID-19 transmission, and almost all universities have suspended face-to-face activities, academic activities, and conduct alternative modes of learning. One of them is distance learning, offline or online learning. Distance learning is quite challenge, especially practical aspect and laboratory activities. So we are constantly looking for solution by providing virtual experiments that are combining with actual equipment, image, or data, and link it to actual industrial processes. The development of online education and adaptation of Industry 4.0, which is called in Education 4.0. There are at last 9 trends in Education 4.0. One of them is learning can be conducted at a different time and in different places. In the engineering and science education sectors, beside the theoretical aspect or content, the practical aspect of process is equally important. Under normal condition, practical learning is carried out in a form of the laboratory experiment. What about the post-pandemic condition? This pyramid describe a didactic approach to TVET learning that can be implemented. Lectures are expected to deliver teaching and facilitate learning processes using any digital technologies, tools, and resources to meet students in learning styles. Over the various instructional approach in TVET, didactical methods are suggested to be the most suitable approach. There are several innovation in TVET learning today. The first is video-based laboratory. Maybe this model is the most widely used and simple method of online learning. And in this slide, we can see that the teachers teaching using a Zoom platform and share videos. Is it about baking and art? And Indonesia student at home practice as supervised by the teacher. If the class large is divided into several groups, and then this activity was carried out during the pandemic as online learning, and still possible is used if for post-pandemic for blended learning, theory by online and the practicum by offline. Recently, we call using learning method is the name is flip classroom, which method students learn at home and teacher is in the classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, is second. Second is the example is virtual-based laboratory. This virtual laboratory is the result research by lecturers. This one is example development in our faculty by lecturers at agro-industry, and the practicum simulation lab virtual provides give the user overview of how to food analysis steps correspondent to practicum in real laboratory. I think the next presentation we can learn more the best practice from the others keynote speakers maybe. And the third is remote-based laboratory. Through this technology, learners can access and use the laboratory equipment online remotely. As an example, research conducted by a lecturer from electrical engineering program, and they have research about remote laboratory for distant practical work of factory automation since 2017 up to now is using during the pandemic, and the system is beneficial when conducting practicum with students. And teacher also can also apply project-based blended learning. This model is conducted by me and our college, and development blended learning for vocational. And this diagram illustration, there's the two stage, and the first stage is online an online course, and then the second is offline courses. Teachers, the in online teachers give the learning material through Google Classroom or Zoom, and then student to do the given quiz and then problem. A teacher gives a project to the student where the student have observed and shapes of example is sweet bread, which is popular in the market, and assign a project in the submitted through Spot. We have UPI, we have Spot. Spot is integration system teaching and learning in university. And that is student can delivery project to submit it, maybe a Spot or WhatsApp or email. That is depend student can use. Teacher, and the last is teacher information, give information about the practical learning that will be conducting and remind the student to follow the health protocols during the practicum. From the second diagram is offline. Offline learning is the first is a teacher checks student attendance and demonstration how to make example is sweet potato bread, and application student to doing us to make a sweet bread based on the project conducted previously. And this stage student trying to develop their hard skill and soft skills, and in student present the practicum results, and the end of the meeting is a teacher gives comment and feedback of practicum results. Based on previous studies, TVET learning needs a specific practical support in blended learning for all aspects, including cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. In the TVET curriculum by online approach must pay attention the current learning of innovation. Example is HOTS, high order thinking skills, and GPACK, technology, pedagogical, content knowledge, and is prepare for our student in industry. Also, positive attitude and self-confidence toward the new technology in TVET are important base to move forward. But ladies and gentlemen, these pictures show us the disparity in digital literacy skills still happening. I don't know in another country, and there are vocational school ICT index. This is research from 2019 to 2020. This research found that index digital literacy skills still in level 2. Which is vocational school still quite ready to utilize ICT. It's mean teacher vocational skill still need training to improve digital skills. Besides that, quality of service and facilities based on research by Minister Education and Culture still needed improvement. And also another disparity in digital skills, that the digital skill gap is still felt by teachers. Teachers accustomed to conventional learning must adapt to new methods and strategy to deliver online learning. There are several difficulties in implementing the process of change in the education system that emerged after the COVID-19 crisis. But educators agree on the integral role technology plays in enhancing pedagogy. This creates a gap between recognition, the need for transformation, and having a clear strategy for moving forward. After all now is the time to educational institution to turn their organization into a digital organization to stay relevant and ensure that students are ready to face changing needs of the next generation of work. According to survey conducting by APAC 2021 on the development of digital skill that must be mastered from year to year. There are 4 types of worker who will need a new digital skill by 2025. First, digitally unskilled worker. This type needs to improve proficiency in the skill currently and expand their competencies. And second, today, digital skill worker, these types must learn digital skill to be more productive in their current jobs. The 3 future workers, this type must acquire a digital skill on demand to increase employability. The 4th, individual who are deprived of their rights, this type must learn new digital skill to access job opportunities. As a conclusion, the government must pay attention several aspects of education implementing the new normal policy with blended learning, which demands teacher creativity and innovation in managing learning. In addition, learning is easily accessible and adaptable. The effectiveness of the required education financing is also important. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That's all that I can deliver. Thank you for a nice attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anna, for your
yes, you're welcome.
Productive and provocative presentation for us. It's a good message for us to share the experience and activity of the pandemic situation in higher education in Indonesia, focusing on vocational policy or model reform in higher education, strengthen international partnership with UN organizations like UNESCO Bangkok, learning reimagining at home, and pandemic, new trend and challenges of the pandemic, digital education, digital technology use, adapt and learn technology, everything work and learn remotely, online, work and learn from home, and the new opportunity create our new idea, particularly entrepreneurship for student, for teacher, how to make business, how to run business, self-employed or working. And TVET need to master potential and substantial skill and knowledge. And the contribution of the private sector in achieving the pandemic restriction, and the government issued the guideline, learn from home, enable student and teacher to learn by TV. And MOEYS provide free access to internet, online, various deductive approach in TVET, video-based lab, virtual-based lab, remote-based lab. All these are very fruitful and lesson learned for our region. Thank you so much, Dr. Anna.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Dr. Song. Thank you very much.
Now we move from Indonesia to Cambodia. So what strategy that Cambodia need to tackle the problem of pandemic situation in one of the country member of the SEAMEO country. To prove this, our third speaker, His Excellency Thong Samun, Deputy Director General of Directorate General of TVET, Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training, Cambodia, will highlight the TVET development strategy during COVID-19 era. His Excellency Thong Samun earned Master in Business Administration, MBA, in Cambodia in 2009, and another Master in Public Administration from Shanghai University, China in 2017. He joined the working committee to establish TVET Strategic Development Plan 2014, 2018, 2019, 2023, National Employment Policy 2015, 2025, National TVET Policy 2017, 2025, and other related policies on human resource development in Cambodia. His Excellency Thong Samun, the floor is yours, please.
Good morning, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, and the participants in this online. So I would like to share of the TVET during the COVID pandemic in Cambodia and also some strategy in Cambodia. So let me share my screen. Right now in Cambodia and also in the world, we are affected by COVID-19 since the end of 2019. And every country try to fight with the COVID-19, especially for human resource development in Cambodia, development and also the TVET. So my content for speaking here, I would like to share some of you about the background of the TVET and also TVET in COVID-19 situation, and the reskilling and upskilling program, and also the developed national TVET e-learning platform. So this is what the Cambodia for TVET to highlight and also to set up a new strategy and policy for post COVID pandemic, and also to fighting the COVID during its pandemic. So I just would like to share. Currently, Cambodia is lower middle income country, and also we develop the policy strategy, everything for moving up to upper middle income country by 2030, and also the high income country by 2050. So the skilled labor is very important to move up Cambodia to grow economic, to maintain industry grow and attract to the new industry investment also. And the Cambodia, the mandate of Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training is the play important role for develop the skilled labor. So TVET is under the Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training. Some country TVET under the Ministry of Education, some country under the Ministry of Employment, something else. So here also this just pick up the TVET system in Cambodia, so you can see the general high school start from the first grade until the 12th, and then they go to the universities, something else. And also another side is the TVET stream. So we have a bridging if the student drop out by grade 8, grade 9, they can go for certificate TVET under the Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training. And also we have a short course program like Trade 1, Trade 2, Trade 3 also. And the end of the study, they can study until the PhD or doctoral if we see this two stream in Cambodia. So this is also our qualification framework. We divided TVET and higher education. So you can see this in Cambodia we have 8 level, and ASEAN HUS also 8 level. Also some country 8 or 6 or 10 something else. So Cambodia we have 8 level of Cambodia qualification framework. So this is the two pathway for the student, for the dropout, for the people, for the youth. They can access for learning, educating, and skill development in Cambodia. So we developed the policy, the strategy for support the industry growth to move up the Cambodia to reach our vision by 2030 and also by 2050. So that's why in this mandate, the government set up the rectangular strategy phase 4, and the strategy also mention or also highlight or prioritize for the human resource development to produce the skilled labor force for the labor market in country or in the region. Besides this, also we develop industry development policy by 2015-2025, and also national employment policy and the TVET policy also we are in. My DG TVET for response, or I can say that it's secretary of the TVET policy for reporting, analysis, or also the coordinate with other stakeholders. During at the time, we also developed for the strategy plan for 5 years. And the strategy plan in 5 years, we try to modernizing TVET system by improve quality, increase access, or increase enrollment, or the strengthening public-private partnership, strengthening good government on TVET system, and so also research, promote research and apply technology. We prepare everything, but the end of 19 and 2020 in March, all the TVET schools were closed and start reopening again and again and close again and again. We have many challenges, many facing for learning and teaching for the student. We have 108 TVET schools under supervision of the MLVT, Ministry of Labor, both public, private, and NGO. We are facing many challenges, many facing the learning and teaching, and also is the new, and also the urgent that we need to solve the problem. So around 60,000 of the TVET students, TVET learner, they cannot come to school. At the time we start the online training or blended learning. Every country do the same, do the same. But some country they have high technology, more investment. Okay, they can start resolve the problem to maintain the study and learning for the student, for the teacher. And also Cambodia the same. We try to produce material tool for support the student and the teacher for learning. But we have the challenge, the TVET challenge also, the capacity of the teacher, instructor. They can, this is new, so they're difficult to develop the content, curriculum for teaching, produce the tool, material. So this is new. So before we teach, we provide the training course by face-to-face. So they have a training standard package, they have a material, they have a textbook, something else. But right now we transform it for online. So they need to do, so this is new. And also the content and standard training package also we need to revise, we need to redevelop, and also infrastructure is not enough. The student and trainer cannot adapt online class because most of the TVET students, they are poor, they are rural area, they are from the poor family, so they cannot buy computer, smartphone, tablet, and also the internet service. It's not in Cambodia, but around the world, some countries less developed also the same. So we are challenges. And also, TVET, we need to do the practice, go to workshop, go to laboratory, and also internship program. And around Cambodia, especially for the capital city, Phnom Penh, and the area close to the Phnom Penh, like Konda province, we are locked down. Everyone work from home. Everyone cannot go outside. So we are locked down. Some enterprise, some company close. And the student cannot go for internship. So the student cannot go for workshop. This is the challenge. This is what we are facing. 2 years already, 2020 and now 2021. And we don't know when will it finish. Even we have a vaccine. Now Cambodia start split up for the vaccine for the people, the priority people. We try to do, but it's not easy. COVID, it's new case, new versus something a lot. So that's why I just pick up, and the challenge, the problem in Cambodia for the TVET school. It's not easy for us. We start to develop online class, capacity building, develop content, equip infrastructure, something else. But we need, the TVET need to practice, need to internship program to equip the knowledge and skill. Without the practice, without internship, TVET will not success. Like the speaker or said before, right now we try to do the online blending a lot, but I can say that could not success without the practicing, without internship program for them. And during this time, we have a worker laid off or drop from works. The government set up the strategy, the policy, provide some budget for investment, for taxation, but also TVET we got also for equip them for new skill, new opportunity for them to get a new job or self-employed. We are providing the training program for the worker in phase 1, around 6,500 workers that we call certificate 1, special certificate 1. Certificate 1, which I have mentioned my first slide about the Cambodia qualification framework. We can see it's equivalent to the grade 10. So this program starts in 4 months. 4 months, based on modular base, flexible, and also in construction sector, mechanic, electricity, and power, air conditioning, manufacturing, business, and tourism in 4 months. During modular base, it's okay, the student can select the module or content or lesson, and then they start learn by online, and then some time they come for school before our lockdown, but right now everyone cannot do it. just stay home, stay safe, and do not go outside. So before the lockdown this month, so we Cambodia in Phnom Penh and the area close to Phnom Penh, we start lockdown the middle of this month. So before the student can go for workshop, can go for school for conduct for training, and our objective, we provide a specific skill to them to get a new job or self-employed, improve their skill or to increase productivity. This is upskilling for them. And also we equip soft skill and entrepreneurship, like the speaker previous also mentioned the soft skill and entrepreneurship also. During at that time, they get allowance $50 per month, and the program in 4 months. This budget amount for support them for living, for transportation, it's not big amount, but they can use it for support their life during the study. And also the TVET school try to find a job, try to consult with them for get new job or self-employed. We are running this program we call reskilling and upskilling in Cambodia. The first one we set target 6,500, and the second phase maybe some amount, but right now we are locked down. We cannot do everything. We just the teacher, the school try to develop a new standard, to develop the online training material tool system also. This is currently, but for the strategy to resolve for the online training program for Cambodia, what we are doing, this is our some picture we are training, like most of the worker lady. So you can see the picture, they come for study electricity, for mechanic, for tourism, for beauty, you can see. And also this all the worker, they lay off from work, and then they come for school for study to get a new skill, and then they can go for a new job or self-employed. This is our strategy. I just picked up a part of the online training. So, you know, the online training or blended learning for the TVET school in Cambodia, some school they use Zoom, use Messenger, use YouTube, use Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, something else. But to make it a unit, so the university developed our own platform, that's we call National TVET e-learning platform. We provide for our objective flexible training opportunity during the COVID pandemic and beyond. So after the COVID-19, we are challenged, we are facing, but we have a good opportunity. We can develop our own platform, our own tool, strategy, system. So all the TVET school will be run the training program, blending or online learning by this platform, and also increase access TVET program among the youth. In the future, we believe that because we are flexible, modular, and also we give an opportunity for them. They can work and study with the platform. And also we improve and develop content and distance learning. So this is our opportunity. Before we just do our traditional training program, face-to-face, come to school, teaching and studying, practice at the workshop. So now, okay, you do not come to school this day. You just come for practicing, you just come for meet the teacher, you just come for consultation, something else. And also the quality, we believe that it's also, we matching them with the workplace, matching them with the employment. We will do like that for improve our quality. So we are expecting our student around 60,000, but we expected at least 20,000. You know, as I mentioned, most of the TVET school, poor family, rural area, facing for the computer, smartphone, or internet access. If we expected 20,000 students will be get benefit and access to our platform. And also the teacher, we will train them for teaching and learning by this platform. And also, we believe that we expected all the TVET public. Cambodia, we have 108 TVET schools, but public only 38. The rest is NGO and the private. The first we start from the public, and also our content will be developed and the platform will be flexible, quality, and interest from the TVET training, and also good governance. When we have a STEM, it's also management, the governance will be improved. So we believe that this is a new opportunity for us for develop the TVET system Cambodia, also the new strategy for providing the training program for them. This is our general system. You can manage by the Ministry of Labor and also the TVET school, teacher, student, and also we have content. This is not different from other systems. This is not different from other country providing. But for currently our school just provide by Zoom, just send the video, send the lessons, send the slide presentation, they read and they come. It's like flip classroom, something else. And also the appointment then for face-to-face for discussing. But our platform will be developed more deeply, more easy for the student and the teacher and also the school and also the ministry for reporting. Also, this is our system. The TVET school produce lesson learning video, e-document and upload for the student. The student can get study and also report, and also the ministry matching the student with the enterprise. It is important for the TVET student to get practice, to get internship, for get a job opportunity. And also we will develop RPL, recognition prior learning, in this platform also, because RPL is very important. When they got a skill from their father, their family, their relative, without the certificate, they can come for the system and then register for the testing and then get the certificate or credit from our TVET. So this is that's we call lifelong learning also. We will develop to them, because most of the youth, Cambodia youth, when they graduate or they drop out, they do not interesting for TVET. They go directly for the workplace. So how come? To improve their capacity, improve their productivity, increase their productivity. So they try to attract them to come for TVET for learning by weekend, by night time or something when they available time for get a skill, and then we provide a certificate by the result of the testing. And also this is the first that we develop for iOS system and Android and offer Huawei operating system and also the web-based. So the student can use computer, tablet, and smartphone. And the challenge, we still the challenge, most of the TVET student is poor family and the internet access. So we are doing on it how to put in our strategy, and then we are develop or we are solving this problem for them to get them into our system, to get them to get a skill or soft skill, something like that. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm waiting for the question at the end of the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Excellency Councilman, for your fruitful presentation, highlighting the strategy of solving the problem during this pandemic restriction. He focused on TVET strategy in Cambodia, highlighting social economic goal of the government of Cambodia to develop skilled labor for youth, rectangular strategy, phase 4, highlighting human resource development for the youth, and relevant policy and strategy support TVET work. TVET in COVID-19 situation is really a big challenge, not only in Cambodia. And for TVET students, right now we have 60,000 students learning online. It's the big challenge that the students learn, and another challenge that students cannot access to online education because of poverty, because of internet restriction, because of rural area working or living there. And TVET need practice, need equipment, need internship program in order to master skill required by the industry. So worker turnover is another challenge for the government, and the government provides some benefit, new skill for re-employment. And we have 6,500 workers for C1, we call certificate 1, in the field of manufacturing, tourism, electricity, mechanic, electronic, and the ministry implement reskilling and upskilling program for youth and for learner, and they provide allowance $50 for each one per month in order to support their learning. And the strategy to tackle the problem is flexible to student need and modify some content, syllabus, and curriculum in order to adapt to the time frame, to the challenges that teacher and student cannot access to offline education. And thank you so much, His Excellency Councilman, for your fruitful presentation. Now we move from Cambodia back to China. Back to China again. Let's welcome our last speaker, Mr. Pan Kirin, called Kevin. He will highlight international cooperation post-pandemic. He undertook many research projects on vocational education, exchange, and cooperation between China and Asian countries. Kevin has published several academic papers on education cooperation. His research interests are educational and international cooperation. The floor is yours, Mr. Kevin, please.
Thank you, Dr. Song. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kevin from London College for Vocational Technology, NCVT for short. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak at a webinar today. I will share with you our practice and experience of globalization and how we adapt to the changing world. First of all, let me introduce my college to you. NCVT was founded in 1984. It is located in Nanning, the capital city of Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, and it's very an important gateway to Southeast Asia for southwestern China. In 2009, the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Finance of the People's Republic of China recognized NCVT as a national demonstrative vocational college a distinction given to only 28 of more than 1,200 vocational colleges in China. Since 2010, NCVT has been awarded many other national honors, such as top 50 vocational colleges of teaching resources in China. In 2019, the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Finance named NCVT a National High-Level Advanced Vocational College under construction, an award given to only 56 of more than 1,400 vocational colleges nationwide. We have at present about 22,000 students, including 19,000 full-time students, 3,000 continuing education students, and 250 international students. NCVT is a comprehensive college providing 57 majors in 10 different faculties, covering mechanical and electrical engineering, construction engineering, information technology, art, business, finance, tourism, media, and languages. The college insists on cooperating with organizations and enterprises at home and abroad for its globalization, and it has built a unique mode, NCVT Plus. N here is for navigated by governments, C for coached by colleges, V for via enterprises, and T for towards win-win cooperation, while P is for production-oriented, L for learning on and off campus, U for United Research Institutions, and S for innovation or starting a business. As for N, navigated by governments, NCVT is sponsored by the Nanning Municipal Government and co-administrated by the People's Government of Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. The college closely follows the policies and regulations of the government and enjoy platforms, projects, and funds from the government. Here are some examples. In 2015, the Guangxi Department of Education and Hong Kong Vocational Training Council, VTC, jointly established the Guangxi Hong Kong Vocational Education Development Alliance at NCVT and authorized NCVT to run it. With the help of the Nanning Municipal Government, NCVT successfully completed a city of registration training class for technicians and administrators from Hanoi. In recent years, the Nanning Municipal Government has been offering a twin sister scholarship for foreign students at NCVT. As for C, coached by colleges will lay emphasis on the role of the college in teaching and learning. We formulate syllabuses through international collaboration. Just take applied Thai language major as an example. We undertake a 2+1 teaching model, and our students study at NCVT for the first 2 years and then go to Thailand to study for another year. We formulated the syllabus for this major with our partnering universities of Thailand. Meanwhile, those Thai universities also send their students to study at NCVT. At the same time, we emphasize the evaluation of teaching. We have even introduced evaluation criteria from abroad, such as USA, UK, and Germany. As for V, via enterprises, we cooperate with enterprises home and abroad. The cooperation provides facilities and real productive projects. For example, we established an on-campus cross-border e-business center to provide students with real projects. Both the Chinese and international students love these projects very much, because they provide a platform for students to conduct actual e-business on campus. We also have developed standards with cooperative enterprises. Last year, we set up a technical training center in Rwanda with the help of Choice, a freight agent, and we jointly designed curriculum standards. Also last year, we signed a contract with Foxconn in Vietnam, and they are sending staff to NCVT for a diploma program. As for T, towards win-win cooperation, we always highlight main mutual benefits when running international projects. We consider the demands of all participants. For colleges, we can fulfill the task of educating, research, and people-to-people exchange. For enterprises, international projects can provide them with technical and skilled personnel. And for governments, they promote economic, cultural, and social development. To accomplish all this mentioned above, we emphasize the collaboration of production units known as providers, learning providers, research institutions, and innovations as what indicates by PLUS, that's plus. To deepen our international exchange and cooperation, we made great efforts to adapt to the changing world, especially in the following 5 Ds or 5 aspects. First, we adapt to the developments of education levels and qualification framework. China is perfecting its vocational education system to provide vocational education from secondary level to junior college level to undergraduate level. NCVT is now also co-running undergraduate programs for both Chinese and foreign students. We also strive to build NCVT into an undergraduate level university in the coming few years. We realized the equal importance of non-diploma training and diploma education, and thus offer various training programs for communities, enterprises, and governments at home and abroad. We stress the mutual recognition of qualifications. For instance, we are building our credit bank and recognize credits that students obtain from open online courses. We also stick to the academic certificates plus vocational skill level certificates 1+X system. Second, we adapt to the divisions of industry and labor. We pay close attention to the influence of industrial structure adjustment and notice that RCEP requires more reform and regional cooperation in TVET. We adjust our major syllabuses, evaluations, and personal criteria. We focus on both local and regional industries. One thing I want to point out is that we cut more than 20 majors in the past 3 years, and we revise our syllabus for every single major every year. Third, we adapt to the deepening cooperation between colleges and enterprises. We established or joined vocational education groups, alliances. We jointly formulate syllabuses and evaluation criteria with enterprises. We share with these enterprises teaching facilities and human resources. Fourth, we adapt to the digital technologies. We build online courses and teaching resource databases. Last year, we carried out an online staff training program for Cambodia, an HR company in Cambodia. We improve our teaching management and student service by digital technologies, such as providing online enrollment and teaching for those foreign students who could not enter China due to the pandemic. Last year, we successfully organized a cooking contest online for China Asian vocational students Last but not least, we adapt to the demands of standards. We participate in the formulation of national professional teaching standards. We introduce international standards from German FASTO, UK NARIC, and so forth, and improve them to meet the needs of local practice. In the last 2 years, we jointly design syllabuses with colleges in Laos, revising standards for different majors, especially the racing majors, like cross-border e-business and international logistics, to meet the needs of local industry development. That's all for my presentation. Welcome to NCVT. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Kevin, for your fruitful, insightful presentation for us to learn and to experience the system and the current practice in China. Now we move to our Q&A session. Yeah, we have 10-minute Q&A session. So I will give the floor to the audience, or as I see in the chat box, there are some questions directed to our particular presenter's name. If any audience want to ask directly, please. If no audience asks, I will scroll down the question in the chat box and refer the question to our particular presenter's name. For the first one, I think the question to Mr. Lee, President Lee, could you tell us the cooperative perspective between GVTC and ASEAN?
Okay, thank you for your question. So, firstly, we hope to have more and deeper win-win cooperation with the help of SEAMEO TED platform from all aspects. And secondly, we would like to share our teaching resources from our leading majors in our college. And thirdly, under the guidance of the Belt and Road Initiative, so we will try to fulfill our responsibility to participate and promote it. So fourthly, I wish the SEAMEO TED could have closer cooperation with our college and establish a training-based branch in Guangxi Shun. And the last thing, so I would like to invite you all to visit our college to talk about the further cooperation after the pandemic. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, President Lee. And another question referring to you as well.
Okay.
Was GTV TC effective in teaching in learning process?
Okay, thank you for the question. So I'd like to answer this question. It's very important for us. So so we try to make full use of all our resources to produce well-designed online and offline courses. So such as before class, so teachers give preview tasks to motivate the students' initiatives. And during the class, the teachers use the cloud platforms to enhance knowledge and do question and answer exercises. We also utilized several other informative methods. For example, our IT school demonstrated the working process of photoresistor and to check the effectiveness of circuit design with the help of animation and the cartographic software, and so on. So we often adopt the group work practice method and the task-based teaching method And also we do another assessment, Okay, thank you. I hope I can answer that question.
Yeah, thank you, President Lee. And let me move to another question. The question is that what are policies developed by the government, Ministry of Education of each country to ensure competency of learners' output and make sure the quality assurance of learner? I think this question refers to the ministry level, maybe referring to Excellency Thompson.
Okay, thank you for your question. So the question is the policy and the competency and also the quality. For Cambodia, case study in Cambodia, we have a national training board for the member from line ministry. So the national training board, the chair by the Ministry of Labor, and also the deputy by the Ministry of Education and some ministry or stakeholder, employer, employee, and NGO develop partner, something like that. So we are meeting for develop the policy and the implementation. Each ministry will be use the policy, the strategy for implementation. Like we are develop the Cambodia quality framework. This is for the whole country, not only for the Ministry of Labor. So the Cambodia quality framework is a policy, a quality to maintain everyone can access, can go until the end of the study. So this is a policy implementation by the ministry. So the ministry develop their own strategy, their own policy, followed by the national policy. Like I have mentioned in my slide presentation, we have rectangular strategy phase 4 developed by the government, the mandate 5 years. And after that, we have industry policy, employment policy, TVET policy. Ministry of Education, they develop the education policy or strategy in 5 years. Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Transportation, something else. So this is, we have policy and the quality followed by the Cambodia qualification framework. Every ministry provide a training course, provide a TVET program, provide the education program. So followed by the Cambodia qualification framework. And also Cambodia qualification framework also reflect to the Asian qualification, actual Asian qualification referencing. So this is the quality. We develop the training standard package also. Our system like this. And also beside the National Training Board, we have sector skill council. Sector skill council will be chaired by the private sector. So the private sector can share the view, can share the comments, can share the feedback for the government sector. Develop the standard training package, provide the training course, give the internship program for the student, and also job opportunity, and also invest some equipment or some budgeting or technical assistance for the TVET school. This is also the mechanism for improve the quality also. The student go to school, study theory and practice in the workshop, the real work at the workplace. They need to go to the practicing, they need to go to the internship program and get a job opportunity. Not only Cambodia, all the world, TVET system will be like this. Without practicing with the private sector, without internship program, they will be not success. So this is the quality. And we do a lot of strategy, but we are still facing the limitation of the employer involved with the system. Private sector not involved. They just complain, oh, they need the skill, they need the quality of skill, but they cannot involve with us. Our challenge also this not only Cambodia. When we have a workshop, some country also rest the limitation of the private sector involvement, the limitation of the investment, the limitation of the quality of the teacher, the limitation of curriculum and standards and things like that. But I saw the Philippines is the best for the tester. the program, the involvement from the private sector is also good. We are learning from Tesla also for development training standard package. So I wrap up my speech. We have policy, national training board, and then we have Cambodia qualification framework. We have sector skill council by involvement from the line ministry, the private sector, the developing partner, and also the rest is implementation. The student go for the practicing, go to the internship program. So the whole process in Cambodia like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency Councilman. Now we have 5 minutes left, and I can see many questions to our eminent and great presenter. I can pick up 2 important questions directly to Dr. Anna. The first one is that enough? Learning in this pandemic era only run in technology area. How about the relationship with the surrounding or environment around us? Because recently we are lacking of connecting with environment around us. How will we handle this problem? And what strategy to overcome these? Dr. Anna, please, the first question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dr. Song. I try to share screen. This is my experience is learning from home don't make it difficult, right? And then we have online learning, maybe it's a relationship and communication, maybe it's a very limitation, but it's we have only online learning to provide meaningful learning experiences for students without being burdened by curriculum or graduation demands. The learning process from home can be focused on life skill education, including regarding the COVID pandemic, pandemic. Activities is it's about activities. Maybe teacher is regarding research from Baylor and Oz have suggested several transformation demands that are crucial to be considered by educators to move towards digital education. The first is from teacher-centered to learner-centered, integration of technology, and then student is a different condition, right? Sometimes student can deliver that project by email, by WhatsApp. It's very flexible. I think authentic teaching learning approach is needed to transformation this condition and using problem-based learning project or combination of two, and we have create as a teacher, as a lecturer, with our competency to doing research in this pandemic. We can doing anything about how to improve the teaching in this condition. I have experience to conducting a project-based learning in the home economics because my major is home economics. We have experience, it's very wonderful. Student projects, we have two video and infographics because they are our student is Generation Z. Generation Z is only have interesting visual, interesting concrete critique, and then use technology is very easy to lecture system. In my we try to develop the good experience is the learning tools is we can use anything. Google Classroom, maybe we have WhatsApp group, Zoom, emails, everything. It's learning step. We can this one. It is very environment is very good to improve a student ability to contact and to communication. We can see that this benefit of project. This is a project is our discussion, and then discussion the project topic, distribution of project tasks, exploring exploration stage is a project activity planning. It is maybe a little quite not easy, little bit difficult, but it's try to communicate with student, and student must be happy to learn, right? And we have experience. This is the example, what is it to do my student, home economics students. There is a social work, and there is doing a pictorial story. It's very nice, and it's very creative, right? Creative and innovation. And then this is a disinfectant from home. It's the first pandemic. Disinfectant is gone, and student doing by themselves, and then we can observe, and we can doing to self assessment, and we can doing the virtual exhibition to do how to and it is very exciting. A student doing a virtual exhibition, what is a project done by student. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Anna, for your kind answer responding to our audience question. And because of the time limit, I would like to pose one question to Mr. Kevin and CVT. Please answer in a short and succinct way. The question is that, what are the key cooperation projects of NCVT in the ASEAN in the future?
I think firstly, online courses. We hoped to share more online courses with the help of Asian SEAMEO TED in Asian countries. Secondly, we hope we can jointly formulate syllabuses as what we are doing now with the colleges in Laos. And thirdly, we hope we can jointly organize more activities to promote the cooperation between the region. That's what I think. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Kevin. And I would like to say sorry for the audience that we have no time to answer all the questions that posed by the audience because of the limited time. Now the session one's end, and I would like to thank you, the audience, the eminent presenter, for presenting very productive and fruitful information and knowledge for us to learn and to know it. I would like to move to session number 2. It's best practice sharing among our SEA vocational technical high school network. Before we start session 2, let's watch the video clip on COVID-19 response from TVET student and teacher in our region.
I've become more tech savvy, and I'd now describe myself as an essentialist, focusing on the most important stuff students should learn. Less is more, and I have more empathy for students' home situations and access to technology. I need to be extra flexible, compassionate, and thoughtful. It's okay to cut them some slack in this hard time.
Good day, everyone. This is Guyver Pasio of non-high school Ligao City, Albay, Philippines. As a teacher, not only my personal growth is affected by the pandemic, but my professional aspect as well. There is an array of affected domains in my teaching this school year. TVET, the academic status of my learners. This pandemic has really limited the access of every learner to quality education. It is in the hands of dedicated teachers now to uphold the vision of the department amid pandemic.
Hello there, I am Aviana Natalie Leonard from Kaninga Vocational College, Sabah. The pandemic, to a certain extent, has disrupted my learning during school closure. since I am a baking and pastry student, where most of my learning takes place in our school pastry kitchen. However, I learned to improve my skills in video editing and production since video has become a valuable material for classroom assessment, assignments, and as well as submission materials for virtual events such as conferences.
Hi, my name is Rizky. I'm from SMK Taruna Terpadu 2 Bogor from Indonesia. Okay, the first one is, in my opinion, when I started during the pandemic, to be honest, I was a little bit bored because studying online at home. But at this time, creativity will appear in my brain so that it can create new things for me.
Hello everyone, my name is SEAMEO TED. I'm in grade 10. COVID-19 has inspired for my study. During the stay at home, my ability is lower because I don't receive more education knowledge from teachers and I took a lot of time for playing. One more, I cannot control myself to stop thinking about social media. So I'm very upset, worried, and scared in this situation. Honestly, I really want to study at school.
We always worry about COVID-19 pandemic in the world and with it in our school, such as the first, we must wear a mask when we come into school. Second, always use soap when we washing hands and take frequent showers at least twice a day. The third, clean the house or dormitory at least twice a day, especially morning and evening. The fourth, if any fever of other system, we must go to meet the doctor or nurse. The fifth, we block travel entertainment, venues or
effects of the pandemic to my studying or learning process. First, I cannot learn easily because I have to learn online. And lastly, it makes me lazier.
State of affairs put the world on pause, but this pause gave me time to reflect on troubling matters. Sometimes it takes one's world falling apart for the most beautiful mosaic to be built up. I never forget to take care and love more. Like all else, this shall pass. Now go, live your best life. I am Donna Elizabeth L. Banga from Dueñas General Comprehensive High School, a grade 10 learner, a visual artist, and a youth responder from Iloilo, Philippines.
Today, I want to talk about my feeling that with COVID-19, the difficulties for me and life cannot do some activities with my friends. Especially for my family, cannot earn money for support my study and others.
Hi, I'm Constance Han from ITU College based in Singapore. In 2020, when the pandemic first hit us, my dad, who drives a taxi, suffered a loss of income. Luckily, he was eligible for the COVID-19 driver relief fund from the government. It was also a period of constant changes as I had to quickly adapt to home-based learning. It wasn't easy to concentrate at home, but I'm glad my lecturers were still able to teach us virtually. Also, as we were not allowed to travel, my family could not pay our last respects to my grandfather who passed away in Indonesia. Looking back, it has been a challenging year, but I'm glad my family and I have put through the tough times.
Hello everyone, my name is Huang Jiayi, a senior student from a Chinese higher institution. Due to the sudden outbreak of COVID-19, my normal life has been affected dramatically. In order to alleviate the pandemic, I and my fellow students almost spent all the time at home and we could not hang out optionally. During the second semester of the year, we could not return back to our campus and meet my friends. However, thanks to the development of the internet industry in China, we were still able to obtain knowledge while learning online. We used the application like Yuketang, QQ, and LinkedIn to have class and take the final exam. In the middle of 2020, the pandemic was under control. In this way, we could take lessons at campus, but there were still lots of limitations in the school life. For instance, we should wear a mask during the lecture and cannot leave from campus optionally like before unless receiving permission from our teachers. Recently, with more and more vaccines being launched into markets, I believe the world will return back to normal soon. Finally, hope all of you safe and healthy always. Thank you.
COVID-19 telah mengakibatkan banyak perubahan besar dalam dunia pendidikan. Di Indonesia, sistem pendidikan telah mengalami banyak perubahan mulai dari metode pembelajaran hingga media yang digunakan. Bagaimana tanggapan siswa-siswi dan para guru di Indonesia mengenai perubahan yang terjadi?
Jujur awalnya seneng sih. Senang.
Soalnya kan kata-katanya kan libur. Karena saya kelas 9 mau ada USBN. Awalnya sempat kaget.
Ya sedikit terkejut karena merasa khawatir dengan siswa-siswi kita.
Daring. Kayaknya harus kenalan deh. Pertama kali itu kayak seneng. Tapi waktu lama-kelamaan kok agak ribet.
Kita sebagai guru juga terkejut karena kita harus menentukan media online apa yang paling cocok untuk KBM online. Pembelajaran secara daring menurut saya
nggak efektif sih. Kita nyari materi sendiri, jadi nggak paham. Fasilitas
dan pendalaman materi.
Perlu interaksi dengan guru secara langsung.
Pemahaman yang lebih lagi sama pengalaman.
Ribet, males, bosan sih.
Enggak sih.
Bosan.
Biasa aja. Semangat.
Kangen.
Asyik.
Fantastis.
Demi masa depan bangsa. Tetap semangat.
Thank you for watching attentively. Thank you so much. Let's move to session 2. As I told you before, best practice sharing among our SEAMEO Vocational Technical High School Network member. Topic for sharing, but for presenter. Let's welcome the first topic, titled Integrative Assessment, Reframing of Assessment Practice in the New Normal. Each topic will be allotted 20 minutes for your presentation. And we have 5 minutes for Q&A session. As you know, assessment is the systematic basis for making inferences about the learning and development of students. In this process of defining, selecting, designing, collecting and analyzing using information to increase student learning and development. Particularly, integrated assessment is a process that combines and blends the learning outcome from multiple modules into a series of streamlined, realistic, case-oriented activity. Teachers should select an assessment strategy which are most relevant to their students' learning outcome. To rectify this saying, let's hear the voice from our speaker, from the Philippines. Let's welcome Victoria Mado Povo, School Principal 3 of Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industry, the Philippines. Victoria was the former OIC principal of Auburn Bowl Elementary School and head teacher 3 of Pinabu Hatan High School. She earned master's degree in educational management from Rizal Technology University in 2017. Victoria received Outstanding Head Teacher Award. She has attended many professional development programs nationally, regionally, and internationally. For our second speaker from the Philippines, Mr. Luis Duterte, head teacher 2 of Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industry, the Philippines. Duterte earned master's degree in educational counseling and guidance in 2016. He has completed the coursework requirement for his doctorate degree in educational leadership. He served as a head teacher too since 2019. Finally, he has attended many professional development programs regionally and internationally. Both of them will talk about integrative assessment, reframing of assessment practice in the new normal. The floor is yours, please.
A pleasant morning to everybody. So, Dr. Song, may Sir Duterte be allowed to share his presentation? Am I audible?
Yes, boss.
Thank you. Thank you.
Challenge to the youth and educators. These howling words keeps on playing as we are now living in new normal caused by the pandemic. And yes, the challenge is getting louder and harder and bolder as first day of school approaches. But these challenges were covered by innovations and persistence of not only educators and government officials, but all people in the community. It will never be easy, but it will be always worth it. The schools in Pasig adopted the blended distance learning. It is an alternative learning delivery modality where interaction takes place between the teacher and the students remotely. It combines two teaching strategies, which is modular distance learning and online distance learning. To cater different learning styles, students will be given a self-learning modules or SLMs in print or electronic format or a video lesson with corresponding worksheets. The teachers takes the responsibility of monitoring and facilitating the progress of the learners through different online platforms. To serve better the students, we conducted a survey to know their preferences and capacity for the execution of blended distance learning. Based on our survey, only 11% of the total number of the students were confident that they were equipped with devices and connectivity. With this, they selected video lesson as a form of their modules. The other 89% selected printed modules and were not confident enough to provide their own gadgets and stable internet connection. With this number, great challenges on production of printed modules, communication, and assuring safety in this time of pandemic were expected. Fortunately, our school belongs to the local government who were able to provide gadgets for the students. This meant the broken link between the teachers and the learners. With the tablets, students are also privileged to use the video lessons, and teachers can now assure the connectivity with the students. But how can we really reach out our students to monitor and facilitate their learning? The most commonly used platform in communication nowadays is through Facebook Messenger. All students have their accounts, and it doesn't require internet connection, for it offers free data or light, though it has limitations compared to using Wi-Fi or data. Now, here are the actions taken by the school in preparation for the blended distance learning. First, distribution of learning materials through the following: scheduling dissemination of printed materials and for the gadgets, providing learning resources portals and virtual library, providing downloading station at the school where nearby parents can come and get the electronic copies of the materials. Next, orientation of students and parents about the modality of learning. Then we conducted simulations. First, we had it one grade level with complete set of teachers. Then we had collaboration based on the result. We re-echoed it to all the teachers, and then we had our second simulation including all grade levels and all teachers. Then we started to create group chats as our classroom, and we assured that all enrolled students were part of the chat group. Then we had teacher-student orientations that focused on the classroom rules and teacher-student needs. And up to now, we are creating scripts, supplementary learning materials, and assessments.
Okay, so the short video clip presented some of our implemented activities and projects in support of our dear diligent Secretary of Education said that welfare of our teachers and learners remains to be our priority, and we will ensure that the school year 2020-2021 will be bearable for all while still promoting effective learning engagement. At this time, schools here in the Philippines still don't conduct face-to-face classes, and our teachers and learners are still adjusting to the distance learning setup. Thanks to the guidance of our TVET leaders, support from the local government units and other stakeholders, the new normal is endurable. But aside from the stewardship and assistance from our leaders and stakeholders, we strongly believe that adapting ways on how to lessen the density of tasks of our learners and teachers would definitely make this whole new world of learning bearable. Fortunately, DepEd handed schools with measures that will foster academic ease, and one of which is the implementation of the integrative assessment. We all know that assessment that we give our learners today would definitely serve as a basis on how are we going to modify or improve our instruction. But of course, the conduct of assessment is a lot different at present due to the emergence of additional challenges brought about by this coronavirus pandemic. And to further elaborate the purpose of integrative assessment and processes involved in its implementation, may I introduce to you to our capable and newly promoted education program supervisor at the regional office and our former head teacher at Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries, Mr. Louis C. Duterte. The virtual floor is yours, Sir Louis.
Thank you, Ma'am Cuervo, to all the participants, and to the SEAMEO TED committee. A pleasant afternoon or morning to everyone. Allow me now to share my screen. So I'll be doing the first part of this presentation entitled Integrative Assessment, Reframing Assessment Practice in the New Normal. So our focus is on the basic assessment principles, formative versus summative, integrative assessment, designing integrative summative assessment. As a starter, let me read a quotation from Dwayne Reed, an educator, and let me quote, "My hope is that our new normal today exposes what was wrong with our old normal yesterday and sets us up for a better normal tomorrow." Indeed, the words of my former principal, Ma'am Cuervo, was very true enough to describe our current situation in the educational setting. But we will be trying to be having it as not a new normal, but a better normal in educational setting. The Department of Education here in the Philippines released DepEd Order Number 31 Series of 2020, which is the interim guidelines for assessment and grading in light of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. So here in the Philippines, although we have some difficulties when it comes to internet connection, and based from the survey that some of our students can cope with gadgets or devices to blend with the online distance learning, this interim guideline has been released to ease and to bridge the gap for the students, especially in the assessment process or the assessment and evaluation. So DO31 Series of 2020 is a supplement to DO12, wherein it is the adoption of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan that was also released the same year and shall be implemented in all public elementary and secondary schools nationwide by school year 2020-2021. But our DepEd Order Number 8 Series of 2015 is still in effect, although provisions inconsistent with these new guidelines are suspended for this school year. I don't want to elaborate further what is DepEd Order Number 8 Series of 2015, but it talks also about the policy guidelines on assessment of learners from kinder to grade 12. Private schools and higher education institutions offering K to 12 basic education are encouraged to implement this DepEd order and permitted to modify it with the approval of the regional office. For this one, the rationale is to the continuing threat of COVID-19 is in the country and the world brings about unprecedented challenges to basic education. As schools prepare for school year 2020-2021, teachers and parents must adapt to alternative learning modalities to ensure that learners achieve essential curricular goals. This will require creative and innovative ways of designing optimal learning experiences and assessing learning progress effectively under adverse circumstances. And as stated in DepEd Order number 8 on the policy guidelines in classroom assessment, assessment should be used to inform and improve classroom practices and promote learning outcomes. Distance or blended learning environments, it is necessary to utilize alternative tools and strategies for assessing and supporting learning while avoiding creating undue pressure on the teachers, learners, and their families. So we have that alternative learning modalities, achieve the essential curricular goals or the most essential learning competencies, creative and innovative ways of delivering the assessment to our students here in the Philippines, distance or blended learning environment. We have the blended wherein they could use modules or they could also use devices for soft copies for them to answer and for them to learn the different learning materials provided by the schools. Alternative tools and strategies that are catered by our teachers and avoiding creating undue pressure, yes, most especially to the part of the parents and their to the families. So when we talk about classroom assessment, it is an ongoing process of identifying, gathering, organizing, and interpreting quantitative and qualitative information about what learners know and can do. With DepEd Order number 8, series of 2015, it is an integral part of curriculum implementation that allows teachers to track and measure learners' progress and to adjust their instruction accordingly. It informs the learners as well as their parents and guardians of their progress using report card. We have two types of assessment. We have the formative. The first is the formative assessment, a process that involves teachers using evidence about what learners know and can do to inform and improve their teaching. This process, through the teacher's immediate feedback, enables students to take responsibility for their own learning and identify areas where they do well and where they need help. And the next one is the summative assessment. It's an assessment that is usually administered toward the end of a learning period to measure the extent to which the learners have mastered the essential learning competencies, the results of which are recorded and are used to report the learner's achievement. And the grading is a way of reporting assessment data by assigning a value to the results as a record of students' ability, achievement, or progress. With the policy statement, the DepEd is committed to ensure educational continuity in this time of crisis while looking after the health, safety, and well-being of its learners, teachers, and personnel. Schools must adopt assessment and grading practices that can most meaningfully support student development and respond to varied contexts at this time. So again, that's most meaningfully support student development and respond to varied contexts at this time. So that's the keyword for the policy statement. What are the guiding principles for this DepEd Order number 31, wherein we followed this one, most especially here in the division of Pasig City. Before I left Reps or Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries. So the guiding principles are assessment should be holistic and authentic in capturing the attainment of the most essential learning competencies. So that's in across all learning areas. Assessment is integral for understanding student learning and development. A variety of assessment strategies is necessary, with formative assessment taking priority to inform teaching and promote growth and mastery. Assessment and feedback should be shared responsibility with the teachers, learners, and families. That's why with the previous video that we had, we conducted also, or we formed a group chat for Facebook, group chat for our for their parents, for our learners' parents, so that they would know as well, or they could follow as well what is the status of their son or their children's scholastic or academic behavior, most especially in time of this pandemic. Assessment and grading should have a positive impact on learning. So here are the procedures for the integrative assessment. So distance learning poses challenges for teachers and learners. Yes, we do all know that. So with the conduct of assessment, need to account for different contexts in designing and implementing. Assessment is very intricate. Okay, so we need to account for the different contexts, and we need to design and implement it according to what our needed the desired objective should be achieved. Limitations on giving immediate feedback. Yes, because if we do have that phase during our regular normal days, feedbacks are given after quizzes, after exams, after we check it. But here, they submit it, and teachers who are using online blended learning, especially in the distance learning, are having some quite hard time to check all the submitted soft copies or the modules that are being submitted through drop boxes in in our respective schools. And the grading assessment task, because we don't know whether is it the learner or the parents are the one who made the assessment or the exams or the quizzes or projects. So for this one, I will share you for the teacher, how was online teaching? This is a river of my tears. For the learner, you mean to tell me my question is answered in the directions? And for the parent, I have no idea what's going on. So with the triangular scenario of teacher, learner, and parent, we bridge the gap with it through this integrative assessment here in the Philippines. To address these challenges, as I mentioned, designing the assessment to allow flexibility in multiple modalities. So we came up with the integrative assessment, wherein it is an assessment designed that seeks to combine students learning from multiple subjects or modules in a single assessment. So here in the Philippines, most especially in our school, we have 10 subjects, since this is a technical vocational public high school. So with the 10 subjects, if a student or a learner is given 10 quizzes, 10 assignments, and 10 exams, and we have also 10 let's say we have that 10 subjects. So all in all, they will be performing or doing at least 30. That's only for one quiz, one activity, and one exam. So how about if the teacher will give for quarter, let's say, for quizzes, for activities or assignments, and for let's say one exam or
you have 2 minutes left, so please wrap up your talk in 2 minutes. Yeah.
So with this one, we have the subject, okay, for written works and performance tasks, okay. So steps in designing, analyze the most essential learning competencies, standards across all learning areas, identify the competency standards that can be combined the assessment tasks, identify the theme for the integrative assessment, and decide if the integrative assessment is going to be a written or a performance task, and design the assessment and accomplish the template. My fellow presenter, Ma'am Maria Victoria Cuervo, will then share to you what is an example of an integrative assessment being made by RepC School. Thank you.
Okay. May I be allowed to share my screen?
Please, 1 minute, please.
Yeah, okay, okay.
1 minute, please.
Okay, na-share na. Share na ba? Na-share na. Share. Na-share na natin. Nasa Google. O, yan. Okay na. Okay, so this is again a great morning to each and every one of us. I will be presenting to you the sample integrative summative assessment of RepC. Okay, so here's the sample template in the preparation of the integrative assessment. So allow me to briefly discuss each part of the template, starting with the heading, the title of the template, and the identification, whether it is an integrative written works or an integrative performance task. So in this particular sample, we have integrative performance task. So okay, so let us differentiate performance task from integrative performance task. So when we say performance task, refer to the assessment tasks that allow learners to show what they know and are able to do in a diverse way. They may create or innovate products or do performance-based tasks, including skills demonstration, group presentation, and so on. So I think that was already discussed by Sir Louis. While when we speak of integrative performance tasks, these are product of 2 or more competencies within and across subject areas. Okay. As you can see, the first column is the grade level. So in this sample, we have grade 10. The second column is the quarter or the period covered with the integrative assessment. Okay, so which is the second quarter. Then we have the third column is the date when the integrative assessment will be communicated to the learners, the parents, the learners, and support aid. No? Okay, so it is necessary to present first to the learners and parents the authentic integrative performance task. Why? For them to be able to internalize and prepare for the activity, likewise during and after the activity. And also, the date when the output will be submitted is specified under this column. Lastly, the fourth column indicates the duration of the accomplishment of the task. So in this sample, learners were given 3 days to finish the integrative performance task. Always remember to give ample time for the learners to do their IPT or the integrative performance task. And of course, always be ready for scaffolding. Expect that the learners will be asking questions during the accomplishment of the task. Okay, so the next template is, or the next part of the template is the assessment criteria, which comprises of the learning areas or subject that will collaborate in the formulation of the integrative assessment. So here we have English, MAPE. MAPE is music, arts, physical education, and health. Then we have Filipino. ESP is values education. Araling Panlipunan is social studies, science, and of course the TVE or technical vocational education. So again, do not force to integrate a particular subject with the other subjects. Okay, you can as your basis, you can make use of the medium of instruction or interrelated competencies, okay, for integration. Also included here in this part of the template is the MELCs, or the most essential learning competencies, which already mentioned by Sir Duterte. Okay, so most essential and indispensable competencies that our learners must acquire as we anticipate challenges in the learning delivery. Okay, so in this particular subject, I had mentioned to you the sample, the different subjects, integrated. Okay, and of course, each subject teachers identifies clearly what specific skills, content, performance, and product will be looking for and to be rated in the IPT. Make sure that all standards or criteria will be given. Okay, so here our TVE specialization offered in grade 10. So we have the handicraft, the entrepreneurship, the garment technology, beauty care and wellness, food technology. We have furniture cabinet making, electrical technology, and automotive. Okay, so I will not be discussing the MELCs, or the most essential. Okay, so the next part here present the content standards and the performance standard. Okay, so again, so when you speak of the content standard, a broad statement explaining what students should know, care about, and be able to do in each level of learning, while the performance standards are used to evaluate what specific measurable evidence is acceptable in determining whether content standards have been met. But of course, the content standards and performance standards were mapped from our curriculum guide, which we used during the pre-pandemic, or the old normal. So for the meantime, we didn't use the content standard and performance standard as basis for this, but we focus on the most essential learning competencies. Okay, so here are same, the content and the. Okay, so take note of the other skills concept that are needed in the IPT, or in integrative performance tasks, and agree what subject area will teach and integrate them in the teaching learning process. For example, if you will be asking your learners to make short films or blog or brochure, somebody from the teacher or those subjects that will integrate will teach how will the learners going to make that short film. Okay, so these are sample of other skill concept.
Thank you
okay.
so much. Thank
okay,
you
thank you,
for
sir.
your time. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
For your presentation, very fruitful, highlighting formative, summative grading principle for student and teacher to learn. So because of the limited time, I would like to interrupt you now. So
yes.
I will say sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
thank you. Let's move to the second topic on integrative centric skill development framework. We move from the Philippines to Singapore. You know, today students acquire and possess more knowledge than ever before. So many call this experimental, hand-on skill, workplace learning, job shadowing, internship program are part of industry-centric program for students to learn. To authentic this saying, let's meet our two speakers from Singapore. The first one, Mr. Osbiki, Senior Lecturer, Rapid Transit Engineering, ITE College, West Singapore. Osby earned 20 years experience in rapid transit industry. He joined Institute of Technical Education, College West in 2014. Besides leading in specialized training modules such as permanent way and communication, Osby involved some projects such as construction of signaling and communication training facility. He also served in the curriculum development team for rapid transit program. Our last speaker named Mr. Stephen Chan Peng Quang, lecturer rapid transit engineering, ITE College West Singapore. Stephen has extensive industry experience in rapid transit engineering. Prior to joining ITE, he was a senior project engineer in the Singapore Land Transport Authority. We also conducted investigation for service breakdown, leading to the identification and rectification of signaling issue for train and track side to ensure safe and reliable service for commuter. So in order to prove this saying and to show the success of the topic, please post out the last presenter. Yeah, the floor is yours, please.
I'm here. Hello everyone. Thanks, Dr. Song. We will very quickly show you a short presentation of our video. I know we are standing between you and your lunch, so we'll try and do this very quickly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Osby, and here with me is my colleague Stephen. We are the lecturers from the School of Engineering of ITE College West, Singapore. It is an honor to be here at SEAMEO to share about the TVET development in ITE. We hope this sharing will provide an insight of the synergies infused through TVET education, government policies, and skill framework to guide and groom the succession talents in Singapore railway transport industry. This is the outline of sharing today. We will start off with the education system in Singapore, and following that, we will uncover the regulatory structures that are put in place in order to meet the future capital demands in the rapid transit context. Then, I'll leave my colleague Stephen to bring you through our ITE framework in industry-centric skills development. Finally, I'll be back to give a brief summary of what we have discussed today. In 2018, Singapore government expenditure on education was approximately $13 billion. Such huge investment in education system is intended.
Can you speed up the volume? It's not, your voice not clear. It's too low. Speed up.
Education in Singapore is compulsory for all Singaporeans living here. Then primary
Make it louder, please.
Into 4 to 5 years of secondary school education. Upon completion of the 10 years of primary and secondary school educations, students who are more inclined towards hands-on learning can take up the TVET progression with ITE. TVET has been well recognized to be a crucial vehicle to enable social mobility in achieving economy progression. Hence, TVET is an important pillar of Singapore's education and training system, as it provides knowledge and skills for employment. ITE plays an important role in leading the TVET, technical and vocation education training here in Singapore. Strong government support has been pivotal in the TVET development in Singapore. Back in 2008, if you see the picture on the left, it was our founding Prime Minister, late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's visit to ITE College East, one of our ITE mega campus. On that day, ITE received an endorsement by our late Mr. Lee. It was reported that ITE has helped to uplift less academically able students by tapping their other skills so that they can make a good living. On that same visit, a second mega ITE campus was unveiled, ITE College West. And the picture on the right, in 2011, the official opening of ITE College West by Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and the Minister of Education then, Mr. Ng Eng Hen, and the Minister of Manpower then, Mr. Gan Kim Yong. Under its one ITE system, 3 colleges governance model, ITE has 3 colleges: ITE College Central, ITE College East and ITE College West, each empowered to develop their own niche of excellence to enhance student success and the attractiveness of an ITE education. Here is a summary of the three mega campuses strategically located in East and West and Central of Singapore. Railway industry training is conducted in the Land Transport Engineering Cluster, which is located in ITE College West. Besides having a strong TVET education policy, it has to be met with a strong support from the leading ministry, the Transport Ministry, the Land Transport Authorities, and the industry stakeholders such as SMRT and SBST. This is a collection of past articles on rail transport workers in Singapore. All these articles are indicating that there is a continuous human capital demand in the railway industry. With the investment in human capital, some of you may ask, will there be enough to absorb the workforce? In this railway system map, the lines highlighted in red are the coming railway projects happening in Singapore soon. Many new lines and extension of current systems are in construction. One of the very important projects is the RTS between Singapore and Johor. This project is estimated to cost over $1 billion, and it will very likely ease the congestion currently commuters are experiencing daily. My next slide will summarize the projects that are coming in the decade. In a nutshell, this coming decade is going to be packed with tasks, assignments, and projects for technicians, engineers, and management team. This slide made available by Land Transport Authority in Singapore pretty much summarize the coming events where workforce will be required. Now let me summarize my sharing so far. With extended open arms from LTA and ITE, it will certainly pave a successful way ahead for the implementation of ITE industry-centric skills development framework. Now, I'll leave my colleague Stephen to lead you through the next portion of our sharing. Stephen, please.
Thank you, Osby. My name is Stephen. Let me bring you through the IT industry-centric skill development framework. In IT, we have regular meetup with the industrial partners, where we have a technical committee and focus group to develop the skill standard based on the industry partner skills framework. Subsequently, from the skill standard, we will develop the relevant curriculum material. This is the course structure of our rapid transit course, where it consists of 7 core modules and a 3-month internship program. In IT, we provide a broad-based training to our students to broaden their exposure in various course systems, while deepening of skill is done when they join the industry. Other than the basic engineering skill, we also teach the core system in the railway industry such as rolling stock, signaling, communication system, power system, and also electrical and mechanical services for the station. After developing our curriculum, we also update the curriculum every 5 years so that the content are up to date with the latest technology that the industry needs. We frequently gather feedback from the industry partners on new technology to enhance their work. For example, the data analytics. Currently in the industry, the operator uses the data analytics to detect anomaly in the system, allocate resources, identify systems with high failure rate, and also track train performance. Another new technology will be AI for everyone. Our AI Singapore is anchoring deep nation capability in artificial intelligence. ITE is subscribing the program AI for Everyone for all our students to equip them with the AI knowledge to prepare them for the future. As ITE develop the training, our staff need to constantly keep themselves updated on the latest technology. That is why in ITE, we focus a lot in industrial collaboration so that we can have the key technology transferred to ITE, and in turn we transfer the knowledge to our students. These are some of our industrial partners that we collaborate with. With strong industry support, in IT we believe in holistic education. Not only we train our students with knowledge and hands-on skills, we also impart values to our students so that they can have an all-rounded development. These are our three philosophies where we focus on hands-on, minds-on, and hearts-on. For hands-on, it means that we train our students to equip with an employable skill set. For minds-on is to develop our student into an independent thinking and highly adaptable individual. And lastly, for hearts-on is to nurture our student into a person who has passion for what our students do, has self-belief, and who cares for the community and society. For hands-on, we strongly believe in authentic learning. So for our training, we use the actual real-world equipment whenever possible in order to help our students relate the training to the actual work in the industry. When the student reach their final year, the student will be sent for a 3-month internship program with the industry partners, where our students can be exposed to the industry and apply what they have learned in ITE. Other than local internship, our students can also go overseas for their internship when opportunity arises. With the knowledge and skills that ITE impart to our students, aspired students are able to take part in competitions such as World Skills Competition. So far, our students have successfully won medals and at the same time gain valuable exposure from such competition. While skills is important, we also want our students to think safely and work safely, so that they can go back to their family safely. And that is the reason why in ITE, all our engineering students have to go through structured training in workplace safety, which is recognized by our Singapore Workplace Safety and Health Council and Ministry of Manpower. For hearts-on, we focus on values, so that our students can succeed in life. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Youth program, with ITE 6 core value, is one of our signature programs that we teach in ITE, where we help our students to master personal and interpersonal effectiveness strategy in order for them to achieve their goals. Our students also participate in Youth Expedition program, where they contribute to the local and overseas community. Over the years, many of our students have been involved in places like Cambodia, Inner Mongolia, Thailand, Indonesia, and many more. For local, our students also regularly do community service. For example, recently we partnered with Public Transport Council and our students volunteered to guide and help commuters with mobility issues to take public transports. For minds-on, blended learning has always been in our pipeline, and due to the COVID pandemic, we have accelerated it. Our blended learning consists of classroom learning, virtual learning, and self-directed learning. In ITE classroom learning, we use the flipped classroom, where our students can share their ideas by writing or drawing on the walls surrounding the classroom. This method allows them to interact and promote collaborative learning among the students. For virtual learning, we use the virtual classroom in the Blackboard system and Microsoft Teams. For interactive online delivery, we use multiple online platforms like Kahoot and ClassPoint. And lastly, for online performance assessment, we use the Blackboard system and Microsoft Form. During the COVID, not all staff are equipped with the knowledge of using online platform. And in ITE, we have lecturer-to-lecturer sharing series where we bring all the teaching staff to PACE. In the interest of time, I will only touch a few of my personal preferred platform. For virtual classroom, it is important to have the features like knowledge depository, classroom assignment, and collaborative learning. And all this is available in Blackboard and Microsoft Teams system. What you see in your screen now is Microsoft Teams. For tracking of student performance, we have a few options such as Blackboard and Microsoft application. Using the features and functions that are available in Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Forms, we are able to create assignments and subsequently obtain the overall performance of the student. What I've shown here are Microsoft Forms and Microsoft Teams. During our lesson delivery, we also want to engage our students to maintain a high level of interaction. I'm going to go through the ClassPoint software where the lecturer can plug in questions in the existing PowerPoint slide and get the result in real time. First, on the left is the lecturer view where question is plugged. Next, on your right is the student view where students can see and answer the MCQ question in real time using their electronic devices. Lastly, it is always important for lecturer to gauge the level of learners' participation to see if the lesson content is delivered successfully. Here is where ClassPoint system will be able to generate a result slide, and with the result generated, lecturer will have a feel of student level of participation and take necessary actions. That's all for virtual learning, and now I pass back the floor to Osby.
Thank you, Stephen. Now let me lead you through the last part on self-directed learning. An important ingredient for self-directed learning is off-synchronized timing between the teacher and learner. One of the good platforms is Microsoft Teams, which my colleague Stephen has shared earlier. Here is where learners can download knowledge at their own pace within a given time. Another fun pedagogy strategy adopted at IT is learning through filming. Besides learning through production of the video, learners are able to review and recap as many times as possible knowledge from the video as and when they need them. My next slide has a little demonstration on a student production. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy this simple production. For those who wish to find out more about learning through filming, you may refer to the QR code on the next slide. In summary, it is vital to harness the synergy that exists between industry partners and the authorities. A well-structured TVET framework is the bridge to speed up the nurturing of learners into skilled and competent team workers. Next, the progress of the economy is determined by a skilled workforce. Hence, the key to success is the focus on development on industry-centric based skills. Finally, with the aid of technology, surfing on this digital transformation wave is the way to go. On behalf of Stephen, I would like to say a big thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steven and Mr. Obi from Singapore, for your great presentation. Since I have lost contact with Dr. Ai Song Hieng, the director of center, maybe has a problem with internet connection, so I would like to be handling this session. So the wrap up session after all the four presentations, the six presentation from our speaker from China, from Indonesia, from Cambodia, from Philippines, Singapore. So we would like to come to the wrap up session before we closing the event. As I know from the speaker from China, President Lee Wengyong, he has shared a great knowledge on about the road to vocational education revitalization in post-pandemic eras. So he started with his college profile. Also, secondly, he shared about the taking advantage of online education to support the daily teaching, the road to vocational education revitalization in the post-pandemic, making use of existing resources and designing online. And also he has some regional collaboration, some country in SEAMEO country like China, or like Thailand, Myanmar, and some ASEAN member countries. From the second presentation, our speaker from Indonesia, Dr. Anna, she presented about the reimagining learning on TVET in higher education post-pandemic. So it's great. She shared about also her school profiles, faculty, and as I know, the UPI is one of the educational education in Indonesia, the oldest faculties. And also she has mentioned about some important outlines, such as about importance of learning become an initiative to reimagine how knowledge and learning can share the future of humanity and this planet. She also has share the general lesson taken to respond with the challenge of COVID-19. As I note, there are some intervention, also some practice by Indonesian government. COVID-19 response in Indonesia, and lastly, she also mentioned about the learning in the era of COVID-19. Higher education institutions, the high potential for COVID-19 transmission, and almost all universities in Indonesia have suspended face-to-face academic activity and conduct alternative mode of learning. And lastly, she shared about the different time and different place of learning can be conducted in the post-pandemic. Finally, she shared about the important and reason of adopting blended learning methodology, disparity in digital literacy, skill, and finally, about type of worker that will require the new skill for the new digital skill in 2025. And the third presentation from our speaker, His Excellency Chong Samon from the Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training, Cambodia. He has shared about the some main point about the Cambodian vision in 2020 and 2050. Also, he shared the framework, Cambodian qualification framework, policy and strategy for TVET, industrial development policy, national employment policy, also national TVET policy. Everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Let me continue. Yeah, and he also shared about the TVET in the COVID-19 situation in Cambodia. He highlights some practice done by the Cambodian government, particularly in the Ministry of Labor and Vocational Education and Training institution. And lastly, the presentation from the session one is the presentation from our speaker from China. From Nanning College for Vocational Technology case sharing on international collaboration in post-pandemic era by Mr. Pan Current. Firstly, he also shared about his university profile, the history of NCVT, and as I noted that NCVT was established in 1984 and has passed remarkably historical transformation and achievement. Also, he shared mainly about the fourth factor of force driving into an institutional strengthening, known as the NCVT+, which is concerning navigated by government policy, regulation, project, and fund, and also coached by college, via enterprise, and toward win-win cooperation. Lastly, he shared the 5D strategy to ensure his institutional sustainability and growth in the long run, known as development of education level and qualification framework, division of industry and labor, deepening cooperation between the college and enterprise, digital technology, and demand of standard. For the session 2, it's about the best practice sharing. We have the two countries for the presentation, from Philippines and from Singapore. From the Philippines, we have the team, Miss Victoria and Mr. Luis Dutertes. They share about the integrative assessment, reframing of assessment practice in the new normal, starting by the school videos, interactory video. And as I note, she shared the integrative assessment is an interdisciplinary approach to assessment based on combining, interpreting, and communicating knowledge from diverse disciplines in such a way that the entire output can be evaluated from a synoptic perspective. And also, integrative assessment strategy reduce the number of summative tests, therefore lessen the density of tasks of learner as well as to the teacher. Also, they share about the use of integrative assessment in the new normal education process involving integrative assessment. Finally, they share the impact of integrative assessment as a learner performance teacher referring to learner level of understanding and parents support and involvement. Finally, our last speaker from Singapore, Mr. Obeski and Mr. Stephen Chant, to share about the industry-centric skill development framework, starting by interaction with the video of presentation. They share about interaction of the Institute of Technical Education as the principal provider of career and technical education in Singapore. They mentioned the key component of ITE, industry-centric skill development framework, presenting application on curriculum development, industry collaboration, and delivery in the rapid transit industry. In the face of challenge faced by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and lastly, they share about the adaptation and adjustment carried out by the training to mitigate this challenge on COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not sure Dr. Ai Sung Hieng is on the floor now. If you are here, please hand on the floor, but if you're not, may I move to the closing agenda. Dr. Ai Sung Hieng. So since he cannot be contactable at this moment.
Yes, I'm here now.
Okay, please continue. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm very sorry because of network problem at my side. So let me move to our last session. I would like to thank for all presenters, all the audience for watching, participating attentively for our today's webinar. Now we arrive at our final session for today's webinar. Let's welcome His Excellency Dr. D. Kamoli, SEAMEO High Official for Cambodia, for his closing remark for today's webinar. Dr. Boli, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ai Sung Hieng, and so very good afternoon to everyone. I'm sure the time is a little bit late in some countries, for example, the Philippines. So I will be very brief. Honorable speakers from China, Indonesia, Cambodia, the Philippines, and Singapore, SEAMEO TED Director College, and distinguished guest participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure and honor to have the opportunity to participate in this international webinar on the SEAMEO TVET development strategies post-pandemic, which is co-hosted by SEAMEO TED and Go Study Global Education. I'm sure all participants found the presentation and discussion by our expert guest speakers with great interest, and all participants have gained a great deal of knowledge and understanding on the challenges facing TVET development, as well as the policy, the strategies, and best practices on TVET development from SEAMEO countries and China. As you all are aware, the unwittingly unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic has likely changed the education landscapes of the world. The pandemic impact is greater to the vulnerable groups, especially those in the developing countries that are facing a greater technological and digital constraint. Although COVID-19 has posed grave challenges for all of us, but it also provides opportunity, a unique opportunity for a digital transformation, creativity, and innovative school management and leadership. As you all are aware, Cambodia is currently facing the third wave of COVID-19, and the whole capital city of Phnom Penh is in lockdown now. And I'm currently speaking from one of the vaccination center in the capital, one of the measures to flatten the curve in Cambodia. So hopefully we will be able to fight this third wave in the coming weeks to ensure our social stability. TVET development is no exception, which has been strongly impacted by the pandemics, as learners to some extent could not have access to practical and operational practices. TVET is believed to have significant effect on employment, productivity, urban migration, and relationship between education and employment. Therefore, TVET resiliency and recovery frameworks in post-pandemic has to be well cultivated and strategized. I don't have to emphasize again and again on the content, the discussion and a rich concept strategy put out by our expert guest speaker in terms of how to cope up with the TVET development post the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Sung Sarun also highlight a number of key points by our guest speaker. So I would like to take this opportunity to highly acknowledge that the topic presentation and the discussion in today's webinar give us important roadmap, strategy and best practices for TVET development and the resiliency in post-COVID pandemic. I agree that the strategy and current practices in technical and vocational education of every country must be adapted to a new way of integrating technological innovation and expanding a partnership in this hard time to ensure the provision of inclusive and equitable quality TVET development. I would like to congratulate and appreciate all honorable speakers from Cambodia, China, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Singapore for your contribution and kind sharing in this knowledge sharing platform. And I also would like to thank all participants for your taking part in this webinar and the rich discussions through Q&A from a variety of countries beyond SEAMEO member countries. And last but not least, I would like to congratulate SEAMEO TED, Go Study Global Education, and its partners for the initiative and successful organizing this important international webinar for an informed knowledge and lesson learned sharing to our SEAMEO families. I wish you all healthy and please stay safe. I would like to declare the closing of the international webinar, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, His Excellency Dr. Dikaboli, for your motivational remark with takeaway message for us. Finally, I would like to thank our eminent presenter for presenting, sharing fruitful and innovative topic, and audience for participating in this session attentively. Our today's webinar is ended now, and sorry for any unintentional mistake and inconvenience during the webinar. Actually, I can see many questions unanswered because of time constraint, and we are 25 minutes later than the schedule. So I would like to end our session. I would like all of ladies and gentlemen, excellency, have a final photo session together. So please turn on your camera. Please turn on your camera. Final photo session.
Okay, photo session.
Photo session, the final.
I'm ready. From Indonesia, ready.
From Indonesia, welcome. Let me count. Let me count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Thank you for your listening, for your participating, for your presenting in our today's webinar. And I hope that we will meet for subsequent webinars and training programs. Thank you so much and have a good lunch. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Before you leave from the webinar, those who did not
be safe, everyone.
Form, please kindly check and see the evaluation form via the link. You can fill the evaluation form via the link. Then automatically the certificate will be sent to your email within today or tomorrow. Thank you very much for your
Thank you, Ms. Sharon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you. Keep safe, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you on next time.
Good luck and see you next program.
Have a nice Ramadan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks to our friend from Singapore, from China, from Indonesia, from Philippines.
Thank you very
Yes.
From
Thank you, Sir Saron.
Thank you very much. Myanmar.
From Malaysia.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Sir Robert.
Yes, happy birthday, Mr. Robert.
Brother
Happy
Sharon.
birthday, Mr. Lu.
Sharon, thank you.
Head teacher of TVE of Prep C, Sir Saron.
Take care.
He's having
Sir Saron.
his birthday today. Our head teacher of the technical vocational, Sir Robert Melan. Happy birthday, sir.
Thanks.
Congratulations, the Philippines.
Happy birthday all.
Okay.
Okay, to tell your colleague to fill in the evaluation form because we know that some participants did not fill it yet.
Okay, I will do later. So,
Ikibabay ka pa.
Thank you, SEAMEO. Thank you po. Salamat.
Naki-ano pa talaga siya, oh. Alis ka na dyan, nag-off na tayo. Maya nga. No! Mag-leave na ako. Ang kulit.
To get the material. Can I have the material?
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, if you want to have the material, please send through my email. You have my email, right?
Yeah.
Please send my email to the chat room.
Fill in the evaluation.
The music video. This is beautiful.
Teaching everyone to learn.
I hope you can send this one. Thank you, guys.
We will share our expertise by promoting knowledge and policies. We can build a better world.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
In a life filled with happiness and grace. partnership, creating opportunities. By working hand in hand, we can accomplish all our dreams. For a better quality of life is now within our reach. Let us take a step for the precious someone. Making village a place for the people to grow. In a life filled with happiness and play. Yes, the future is not the
Stay home.
Stay home. Stay home.
នៅផ្ទះ
Stay home. Di banda. Duduk rumah.
Stay home.
อยู่บ้าน Stay home.
Stay home.
Stay safe, ASEAN.
I have a dream of what I wanna be. I wanna be free. That's what my heart keeps telling me.
Give me your hand, we'll find a way. There are people out there that feel the same. And if we help each other, I just know we can succeed.
We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl.
Come together and share our dream. We'd be among the stars, and we know that is destiny. We are unity. We are unity.
I do believe, oh, I believe in destiny. It's up to me to make it into reality. Give me a hand, we'll find a way. There are people out there that feel the same. If we help each other, I just know we can succeed. We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be among the stars, and we know that it's destiny that we are unity.
No matter where you're from or who you are,
If we can find a common place to be, then we are friends. Oh,
beauty.